Welcome everyone to our DynamicsPath presents DocumentPath, Simply Send It, and ReportPath, Simply Save It webinar. My name is Michael Introvertolo, and I am the Accounts and Marketing Manager over here at Solution Systems. If you take a quick look at the bottom of your screen, you can see our Twitter handle, which is @solution_system. And if you have any questions or whatnot, you can send us questions through that, and we encourage you to use the hashtag SystemPath. Today we're very fortunate to have Rob Hansen with us from DynamicsPath, and he's going to be conducting this overview. So let me just go ahead real quick and pass this on over to Rob, and Rob can get started. There you go.
Thank you, Michael. I'll just show my screen here. If you just want to confirm that looks good.
Looks perfect.
All right, I'll take it away.
All right.
So, hi everyone. I'm Rob Hansen of DynamicsPath. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to take a look at the webinar today. We're going to be highlighting a couple ISV add-on products for NAV. We do have 4 in total right now, plus a couple smaller ones. So I'll mention those at the end. But anyway, our agenda will be pretty straightforward. I don't think, I'm guessing will probably be a half hour, 40 minutes, depending on questions we get. We're not going to go too deep into things today. So I'm going to give you a bit of information about our company to start, just to let you know who we are. Then we'll move on to the overview of the 2 products that we're focused on today. As Michael said, DocumentPath and ReportPath. And we'll do a quick look demo. It'll be pretty high level just to show you a few top features of the 2 products. We won't be going too deep. So at the end, as you watch things, if you have any questions, you should have the chat window there through the GoToWebinar. I think you have access to that, I assume. Michael can let us know if you don't. But if you want to just ask any questions at the end, we'll address those, and we can hop back into the products if there are any areas at that time you want to see a little deeper. So about us, I don't ramble too much. I hate sitting through all the salesy stuff myself. So we are a provider of high-quality add-ons for NAV that basically increase capabilities and make life easier for users. The products we've created really are ones that excite us, that we want ourselves. So we either do use them in our own NAV database, or we see opportunities where if we were a certain type of operation, we think of products that we would want, and that's what we build. We do love NAV, and we think it's an amazing ERP system. But there's still areas in it that could do more. It's got some great structures to build on top of, and that's what we really enjoy doing. Our extensive NAV experience lets us create products that properly build upon NAV. So we're not, we recognize where NAV is suited to do more, and we then build products on top of that in the right way. Not by excessively, writing completely new logic, but really leveraging what's there. Our products really fit well with NAV. And we're very committed to exceptional support for our resellers and end customers, and we do have good references to support that. Sorry, I missed changing one title there. We have done this presentation for the NAVUG, the NAV user group, a while back. So we're focusing on the same 2 products today. Again, DocumentPath, which is a product to make it easier to send all kinds of documents out of NAV, primarily electronically. And the other one we will be looking at is ReportPath, which really makes it faster and easier to generate NAV reports and gives you all sorts of different ways to send them out or schedule them to run automatically. The other important point right now with ReportPath, we've made it absolutely free until the end of January. So for as long as you're on NAV 2015 or newer, if you like what you see today, you can basically just tell Solution Systems you'd like to order it. There's literally 0 cost involved. There may be a bit of consulting time from Solution Systems just to put it in your database and help with some setup, which we would assist with as well. But really, there's no catches here. It's not a crippled product. We believe it should be in all NAV databases, and to just help build our brand and build warm relationships, we're making it free for a period of time to do that, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to walk through some of the highlights of each product before I jump over and show them. And one other important point, I believe from what Michael said, everybody is on relatively new versions of NAV. The products only work on the newer clients, the role-tailored client and the web client. So if you were on an older NAV 2009 Classic version, they would not work with that. So DocumentPath is a fully integrated product. Both of them are. They're completely inside of NAV. There's nothing outside to configure. So this is a product to make it easy to send documents out of NAV by email, fax, or hard copy, saving time and effort. So we built it because NAV handles all of your complex core ERP functions very well, but it can be a bit tedious to send out documents. Especially if you need to send different documents to different people at each customer or vendor, or if you want to send in batch mode where you're sending a whole bunch of things out at once, it is difficult to do without some enhancement in place. DocumentPath handles complex sending scenarios where the documents need to go to multiple recipients or out through multiple methods. So we've worked in this space for a long time. And to this point, we've handled every scenario that's come up. So the product has grown over the years. As we've hit new scenarios, we've made sure we have the flexibility to handle those. So flexibility is a big selling point. The product will also send documents that you can't even do manually in NAV. So using one example, customer statements out of the box, there's just no way to distribute those electronically. When you run the customer statement, if you run it for all your customers, you're going to get one big file. So if you save that to PDF, you would have to work through breaking it up to send it out. So the product will do that for customer statements. If you use electronic payments for the remittance advices out to your vendors, because that's always been a bit of a non-electronic process. It transmits all the data to the bank electronically, but out of the box, you're kind of stuck printing the hard copy remittance advices to mail out to the vendors. So we plug that gap. And if you happen to use Ceramic Payroll for NAV, the product will let you send out pay stubs electronically. And I won't be showing that today. If anybody here is on Ceramic Payroll and you want to find out more about that, you can ask a question, or we can always do a follow-up webinar for that. The one other thing I wanted to mention on the customer statements, we've enhanced it a bit further as well. So the product gives you the ability to include all open invoices with those statements. So it eliminates all the back and forth where you send out a statement and the customer lost it or never got it, having to resend that out. So it just streamlines things and makes life easier. The product will also include additional attachments. So if you have terms and condition sheets that you would like to send out with sales quotes or purchase orders, or item-specific information, engineering drawings, MSDS sheets, quality certifications, there are simple setups for it to automatically include those with everything you send out. And we're very proud, too, of the low-cost, rapid implementation with DocumentPath. A lot of add-ons, you're looking at a lot of time for a developer to merge them into the database. We have an automatic tool that will put it into any NAV database very quickly and easily, even if you've customized your database heavily. So on the whole, when you compare DocumentPath to other solutions out there, our feature set is the broadest and our cost of implementation is the lowest. So moving on to ReportPath. This is a newer product that we brought out last year. It's a low-priced add-on, and especially low-priced right now while it's free, that enhances NAV reporting for all reports by adding a My Reports pane to all role centers. So through the My Reports part, users can add shortcuts to all the reports that they run regularly, but not just a link to get to the report, because you can do that easily enough in NAV. But these are full sets of saved options and filters under a name. So as one example, the inventory evaluation report, you can save it multiple different ways, filtered once for the white warehouse, once for the blue warehouse. It's very much similar to the way you can save lists in NAV and give them a name. We provide that same ability for reports. And we go a little bit further. The product doesn't just save hard-coded filters that you put in. It does handle dates dynamically. So it lets you do things like set up an account schedule report where it will save the filters, so the row and column layouts you selected, but it will also let you make the dates dynamic. So in this example, I can set up a revenue report for the current period, last week, current month, however you want to set it up, and whenever you run that, it will be dynamic based on the date that you're working. So the core function of the product is to make it very quick and easy to run all the reports you run different ways without having to put the filters in each time. But it then also provides setups to easily email and distribute those reports out to users. So if for example, you want to send out an entire set of financial reporting documents, the product will let you select that group of reports, send it out, and there are a few different ways it does that. I'll show that as we hop over into the product. The last thing it does is let you schedule reports to be run or distributed on a recurring basis. So again, if you have a set of financial reports that you want to send out ahead of a management meeting every week, you can set up the product to do that automatically. People will get them through email or whatever method you select. So that's the high-level overview. I'm going to jump over now to show you the two products. So I've flipped over into NAV, and we'll start with DocumentPath. So again, this isn't a comprehensive demo. I'm just going to highlight a few of the key features. If I jump over to Customer 10,000, DocumentPath adds a document sending tab to the customer, vendor, and employee cards. So it gives you a place to configure all the different documents that you want to send out, how they should go out. So in this case, for Customer 10,000, statements, invoices, and shipment documents have been set up. And this shows some of the flexibility of the product with its different setups. And I won't get into all the details here, but you can configure things differently depending on whether you're sending a single document, whether you're sending it in batch mode based on different criteria for the document. So it's just very flexible. The idea is to be able to get things out the way they need to go out without ever having to think about it and just automate that process. So you'll see there are multiple methods we support: email, fax, or hard copy, and a number of different ways that you can define who the documents go out to. So in the case of email or fax, you have the option to manually enter the recipients right onto the line, which I've done here for the customer statement. You can link the document to the master record email address, which I've done for the invoice. So this pulls in the email from the customer record itself. You can link it to a specific contact under the customer. And if you issue documents to different contacts at the customer, you can use the contact specified on each document to route it to the right person. And some of these links are provided just so you don't have to maintain the same data in multiple places. Another example of the flexibility, we do support multiple lines for a single document. So in the case of a shipment, anytime it goes out to Customer 10,000, the system will, right upon posting, if you do a post and send, the system will email out a copy of the shipment document, so your shipment confirmation, and also spit out a hard copy that the warehouse could stick in the package as a packing slip. And you can have as many of these lines as you want. So if you need to send a certain document to a whole slew of different people, you can put multiple addresses on the line, but you can also set up many different sending setups, however many you need. So once your setups are done, there are a number of actions that are added throughout the product. So just to show you a simple one, if I jump over to posted sales invoices and I select an invoice for customer 10,000 that we were just looking at, I can use the send using setup function. This will read however we've set up the customer, so the customer card settings we were just looking at. You can force it out through email or fax, but again, the idea is you shouldn't have to remember how each customer wants to receive things. You just send using setup, and the system will look at what has been defined. I'll just run this, and I said I wanted to preview it before it goes out. Once your setups are good, you can generally just send things out without having them come up on screen. I had this one come up just so I could show you, or you may want to tweak the message a bit. I'll talk a little more about that. So you can see we support all the fully, rich HTML formatting, logos, all the fancy stuff, and there's our invoice attached, ready to go. From any of these lists, and again, this is across all the documents in NAV, so sales, purchase, and service documents. You can do the single send, and you also have the ability to send the batch using setup. So this would let you filter the list for a range of documents. As a simple example, you may filter for all invoices that were posted today, and you can then send that whole batch out in one shot. So it sends it out the same, using all the same core functionality. You get the option of whether to send a separate message for each document, or you can combine them into a single message. And even within that, you can have a separate attachment for each invoice, or consolidate them all into a single PDF. So just lots of flexibility to get things out in different ways. And you'll see that the message came up with certain things filled in, the invoice number, some other information pulled from different places. That's all done using the message templates that you can define. So again, the whole idea is that we give you the tools to set things up so that you're not 20 times a day typing the same text in an email when you send the invoices out. And I'll just open up the purchase order template I created. So you'll see here, this is where some of the merge fields come into play, and we give you tools to see what those merge codes are. So in the case of wanting to put a purchase order number in, I just expand out, find the purchase header table, I find the field that I want to insert, and that gives me the code that I just copy and use wherever I want. So we've put it in the subject line, we've put it in the name of the PDF, and you'll see here as well, this is one example where we've included a terms and conditions PDF with every PO that we send out. So by default, that will be embedded right into the PDF for the PO unless you specifically want to attach it as a separate file. So as you get using the product, there is a full history of sent messages maintained, and there are fact boxes for this as well on all the document pages, plus the customer and vendor cards. So I can go to customer 10,000, and I will have a fact box to see everything that's been sent out to that customer. Can open up the messages to see what they were. You have options to archive the PDFs as they looked when they went out. So again, just lots of capabilities. So that's the very high-level look at what DocumentPath does. I'm going to jump over to ReportPath now. So same idea. I'll just highlight some of the very key features. And again, this one, if you see at all that it will streamline your day and make life easier, just let Solution Systems know, because it is a free product as of right now. So as I mentioned earlier on, ReportPath adds a My Reports part to every role center in NAV. On this part, each user can create any groups that they want to organize their reports. So this is specific to my user. I created groups called Inventory, Weekly Reports, President's Reports. Each user can set up anything they want that way, and then they add different reports to each group. So if I just jump over to the setup, so when the product first ships, when you go to saved reports, you would have nothing listed here. It's up to you to go through and create, any reports that you use regularly that you want to give a name and have quick and easy access to. You would go through and create those saved report options. As you set those up, you can make them private, so you're the only one that sees them. Or if you're setting up something that you know a bunch of people will want to access, you can make it available to everybody as well. So if I open up, let's see, we'll go to the save or the revenue for last week. If I open up the definition for this one, I can see that the report that I used as the basis for it is the account schedule report. I gave it a description, and we'll see that filters and options have been saved. So I'm just going to click the link to look at those. I can look at what filters and options were set. So there we see the account schedule name and the column layout name. Anything else you had put in for options or filters would be saved. And you'll see there's a date filter here as well. If you want, you can save that as a hard-coded filter exactly how you put it in. But the real value in some of these filters is the fact that they can be dynamic. So if I go back in and I look at the dynamic filters, and again, I'm not covering the training and the steps to do this, but it's very straightforward when you do create a new saved report. I'm just going to look at this. So those two dates that we saw in the saved definition, the dynamic filters tell our product when it runs the report, instead of using what was keyed in, use a dynamic formula. So every time this report's run, for the start date of the date filter, use 1 week ago start date, and for the end date, instead of December 31st that I keyed in, use 1 week ago's end date. So I will just exit out of here. So once you create the definition, users can add it to their different groups, and at any time, once you have these reports sitting here, it's just a couple clicks, and you've got it. There's no need to step through and enter all the different filters each time. So again, it's all just about streamlining things that you do all the time. The product then gives you the ability, if I just double click it, I can see the output very easily. But the product's also focused on communicating that information to other users. So I can select a single report, and rather than double clicking it or running it, I have the ability to, you can send it to all the usual NAV destinations, print it, send it to PDF, Excel, Word, or you can distribute it. So if I wanted to send out the inventory valuation for the blue warehouse, I can select a distribution group. So this is all part of the product. These are things you would set up. And if I look at the management team, which is a group I defined, you'll see this one has 4 different lines. So whenever we do send a report out to the management team group, it will be emailed to this address. It will go to the report inbox, which is the part on the home page for users in NAV for this user, email to another person, and we also have the ability to write it out to a network folder. So again, if you have reports that you want people who are not normally logged into NAV to have access to, this is a good way to regularly spit those out very easily. And that works with a single report, or I could select a whole group of reports and do the same thing. So I could select the weekly report package and distribute it out, and this would, let's see, I don't know if I have everything configured here. Here's a simple example. I had set up just myself as a distribution group. So we'll see, it should open up an email. So it generates all the reports, and creates the email message with all of them attached. So very easy to get things distributed out to people. Beyond that, so that's great for all the ad hoc stuff that you do very regularly. For some things that you have a more rigid process. For example, I talked about ahead of a management meeting every Monday morning, we want to send out the weekly reports for the prior report so everybody has them to review. That's where we have the scheduling functionality. So if I wanted to schedule this to go out, I would just click schedule. I'm going to jump over because I already set up a schedule for this one. So this would be the place that I've set up a description. So financial reporting, this was set up by my user ID. It's the weekly report group package of reports. The distribution group I want to send it to is the management team. I want to send it every 1 week, starting next Monday at 4 a.m. So if you have your management meeting every Monday at 10 a.m., everybody will show up at work and they'll have the email sitting there with the reports to be reviewed. So again, it's just all about automating things and making it easier to do more with NAV. So that's as deep as I was going. Actually, you know what? There's one other thing I wanted to hit on quickly. If you have any strong users that have a bit of a technical aptitude, in older versions of NAV, it was a little easier for people to create some simple reports themselves without needing help from a developer. Newer versions of NAV, it got more complex. The one nice thing that NAV does still have, or that was added along the way, are query objects. So if you have a bit of technical knowledge, it's not too difficult to define a query to get some data out of NAV. So the example I'll just show here, this is one that's in the base product, top 10 customer sales. So with your license, you would have the ability to define one of these. This is just grouping, generating for each customer a dump of their summed up sales for a period. So it's a simple definition. The problem with it is that NAV doesn't give you any way to see the output. It was really created as a developer tool. So if you want to see the output of this, you would normally have to get a developer to create something for you. ReportPath works as a front end to those queries. So I can show you one here. The same way that I had defined, just jump back over to saved reports. The same way I had defined reports to be used, you can select a query object as the source. So if I look at this definition, this is one where I had given it a name and I had selected that top 10 customer sales query object. And we use Excel to output the data. So if I look at what I've defined here, it's pretty basic stuff. Give it a sheet name, a few formatting options, how you want to total things. Once you do that, it enables you, or enables users to add that saved report to their My Reports part, and I can just at any time now double-click that, and it shoots it out to Excel to see the output. So it is just a simple way for to create some of your own reports in NAV very easily. So that's as deep as I'm going to go with the two of the products for today. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask and we can jump back in and take a look. If you really want to get deeper into anything, we can always schedule a follow-up webinar one-on-one as well. So I'm just going to flip back to the PowerPoint. So as I said, for as far as next steps, if you're interested in anything you saw today, first place you can go is www.dynamicspath.com. There's information on our website on these two products, plus a couple others. You're welcome to send any questions to myself directly, rob@dynamicspath.com. If you, we can certainly do a deeper demo. If you decide to move forward in any way, it would all go through Solution Systems. So I'm happy to answer questions directly, or you talk to Solution Systems. They'll be happy to help as well, and I can assist behind the scenes. And yeah, pretty simple and straightforward that way. I want to just briefly mention a couple other products we have. These are a bit more extensive. They're ReportPath and DocumentPath are nice little add-ons that just enhance some functionality, some core nav functionality. DimensionPath does a lot of stuff on top of nav dimensions. So it will let you do things like synchronize customers, vendors, items, so they have matching dimension values, set up relationships between dimensions. So, if you select one dimension value for an expense category, you only get a subset of options for an expense dimension. Let you filter on all 8 global dimensions in a number of places. Just a lot of things that really, again, look at what nav does with its dimensions, which is fantastic, and take it a bit further. And the last last major product we have is BudgetPath. And if you have any needs around, controlling your budgets a little more tightly, and by that I mean setting up rules for when people go to post or submit transactions, this product will do some checking against budgets at that point to try to catch any potential budget overruns up front rather than reporting and catching them after the fact. So even just notifications when amounts, if you have a budget for a given product or a given department, it'll let you send out notifications to various managers when you're getting close to your budget for the month, for the quarter, however you want to set that up. So those are, there's information on those 2 products on the website as well. And as with anything, we're happy to show those in more detail if anyone has a need. So that covers what I plan to go through today. I'll turn it over now. I don't know if anybody has any questions on anything or would like to take a look at anything in more detail or stuff I didn't really get into. I'll turn it back over to you, Michael, to coordinate that.
Yeah, definitely. I got to say, the ReportsPath, the ease of use and the automation is basically second to none. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's you know what? The price on that one, just so you know, once the free period ends, it's $1,250. So it's not a high-priced one, but honestly, it goes back to it's one we built because we just thought that should be in every nav database.
Right. Yeah, it's
so yeah,
it's pretty amazing. So.
Well, and the price is right.
Regardless, it's still pretty amazing, but you're right. Well, thanks a lot, Rob. We truly appreciate it. I like that. I think you said that the feature set is very broad, compared to your competitors, and also implementation costs are not as high as your competitors as well. So that's always a plus too.
Yeah, and we, like I said, we're very easy to work with. So if any Solution Systems customers want to pursue anything here, we'll be happy to work with your group to roll them out.
Right. All right. So what I'm going to do then is, all right. If you'd like to contact me, you can see my contact information on the screen. If there's any questions that I cannot answer, I will definitely contact Rob with you or by myself to find the answer. And once again, I'd like to thank Rob for putting on this presentation for us. It was truly wonderful. So thank you, Rob. And look forward to the future.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Have a great one, everybody.